Roma Trading é orgulhoso distribuidor de Casa de Vinha Oyster Bay.
We're happy that everybody's here, and then with no further interruptions, I'd like to present to you Mr. Jeff Cairney from Oyster Bay, the representative for Caribbean of Oyster Bay wines. So please pay all attention to Mr. Jeff Cairney. If you have any questions that he cannot answer, you can check with us later.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. I wasn't sure I was going to be on TV today. I would have worn nicer shoes. So I'm just going to give a very brief presentation on the brand before we try the wines, but I'll be very quick. I know you guys want to get to the wine tasting, so I won't take up too much of your time with that. But throughout this presentation, if you do have any questions, first of all, I speak English. I know some compliments, unfortunately. I know a couple of words. But if you have any questions, I'm sure somebody else in the audience is going to have the same questions, so please do speak up for everybody's sake, because this is just a learning experience to get to know about a great wine region of the world and about the most popular brand within that wine region. So
it's great to be here. I come here once a year, and I always love my visit here, and I was able to get in early enough yesterday to catch the Aruban sunset before I started off working here in the market today. We have a great presentation here. It's a lot of the restaurant and resort buyers going through our four wines and hopefully gauging some interest for the quality of the wines, for the value. And in the Caribbean, the wines sell very well. As you'll see, it's very crisp, fruit-forward wine that works in warmer climates like the Caribbean. So it's a great seller here in these markets. I think it's twofold. One is that it's the largest New Zealand brand, by far in the world. It's 2.5 million cases globally, so it makes it quite a big wine brand. And it's on the flip side, the other thing is that it's a family company, so it's a very small company. It's not owned by a conglomerate, so it's large not because we're large. It's large because the consumers like the wine and they demand the wine. So it's a fun company to work for in that sense. We have four wines, and that's the Oyster Bay range. It's the Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, which are the two white wines, and then we have two red wines, which is Pinot Noir and Merlot. New Zealand is a cool climate country, so we feel that it can't really grow grapes with thick skin like Cabernet Sauvignon, as well as places like Napa Valley, Australia, where it's a bit warmer. So we kind of stick to what the country can do well. We kind of dictate what the land will give us. So they do Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Merlot very, very well. And I think a really special thing about our company is that we not only do the wines that the country can grow well, but we do them to a style that I think the country does very well. So it's very cool climate, fruit-forward, lightly oaked wine. So our Chardonnay, for example, is different than a lot of, for example, California Chardonnays in that it's very lightly oaked and fruit-forward. So it kind of tastes a little bit like our Sauvignon Blanc, actually. And then our Merlot and our Pinot Noir, again, very elegant, subtle tasting wines that I think the country does quite well. So again, two whites, two reds, all under the Oyster Bay brand. And Pinot Noir is a very, very fun wine because it really, compare it with a range of things, because it's a lighter, sort of light-bodied wine. You can actually have it with like a fatty fish, like a salmon or a tuna, and then you can also have that all the way to more of a gamey meat, like a lamb. So I mean, you can really pair it with a lot of different things. All of our wines are more eloquent, fruit-forward wines, so they're not really heavily oaked. They're not very full-bodied. They're not wines like a big California Cabernet, which I really love, but you feel like you kind of have to chew them because the tannins are really there. And our wines, again, are more light-bodied, so you can actually have these at a pub or at a bar without food, and you can have, I call them conversational wines, because you can speak with people and drink the wines also. So all of our four wines you'll see work very well with food, but you don't need food to drink them. They can be drank on their own as well. just want to reiterate that it's one of the largest brands in the world, and the reason for that is that it's the consumers that are demanding the wine. So the quality for the wine, for the price, I think is really hit a good sweet spot. And like I said, our family's a smaller company, a family company, and we do a lot in the sustainability. The thing with wine is you just need to make it fun. I mean, there are people who have different levels of education, and they smell and they taste and they see different things. But I think the most important rule is, the best wine is the wine that you like. So, don't be afraid to enjoy wine and to just try ones that you like. And I think the most important thing is just experimenting with all different types of wine, just to see which ones you kind of like better than others. And I think wine is a wonderful thing, and the flavor changes with food, and it doesn't. And people swirl the wines to get oxygen on it to make it more vibrant. So again, just what you like is the best. So anybody who tells you differently, I think. I mean, everybody has their own opinions, but I think your own opinion, you should stick to what you know and what you like. I mean, I can tell you personally why I've been working for the company for, it'll be 7 years actually in February, is that, again, it's a big brand, but we're only really one brand. So actually the company is quite small. It's a family company, and a really cool thing about the company is our dedication to sustainability. So we're one of the founders of the Sustainable Wine Growers in New Zealand. So we built our winery to really conserve energy. It's state-of-the-art, automatically opens and closes the windows for a cross breeze to keep the winery cool. We have a nature preserve on our land where we can be planting more grapes and more vineyards, but we actually decided to keep it because species of birds migrate in and out every year, and we like to let them do that. So we keep that as a home to them and to the plant life. So it's really about giving back to the environment as well. And I like that the company's a small family company, and we don't overlook things that are important, because we're taking out of the ground the grapes, so it's important what we put back into it. Again, I'm here representing Oyster Bay Wines from New Zealand. It's 2 white wines, 2 red wines, Sauvignon Blanc Chardonnay, Pinot Noir Merlot. Very eloquent, easy drinking. People who aren't really used to drinking wine, you're not going to get a really big, full-bodied wine that's difficult to drink. I think a nice cold bottle of one of our white wines, enjoying on the beach with a loved one, I think will be a great way to spend your time. So I invite you guys to experience the wines that really made New Zealand and put New Zealand on the map.